All right, so welcome back to Morning Live, and of course the topic right now to discuss is International Day of, maybe our guest can actually complete that, condoms now. I'm joined by Charaza Anthony and of course Mr. Stephen Lumlen from LVCT, and they're here to discuss more about the situation. Now, you know, today is 13th of February and tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so it just comes a day before people are celebrating love. And you know, people celebrate love in very different ways. Karibuni studio. Lumlen and Charaza. Your names are very, very, very strong. Chazara. Not Charaza.
But you can call him Chaz. Yeah?
Oh, Chaz and Len.
Yes.
Okay, now Chaz. Now, of course, Condom Day, it simply means it needs to be kind of looked into, because there's some sort of negligence out here as far as now the usage is concerned. Now, why was this day put aside just before Valentine's Day?
First of all, happy Condom Day. So, Valentine's Day is a day where people share love. It's known and it's experienced with people who are in love. So World Condom Day was specifically set for celebration of condom to just enhance and keep people know that using condom is proper, and using condom prevents you from getting STIs, prevents you from getting HIV and other infections. So it is important that people who are in love protect their love by using protection, and that is a condom. So that is why it was set just a day before Valentine's Day, even as people prepare to celebrate their love. And people celebrate love in many ways. And one of the ways that people celebrate love is probably making love. So the only way to prevent that love is using protection.
So Stephen, safe is fun is actually the theme, and already safe is a key word over there. And of course, fun is the process. Now, what can you tell us about now, just trying to bring this day closer to people? Because you remember those days when you were growing up, of course, the taboos, even when you mention a condom, you'll be chased away, my friend. You'll really be, you know what I mean? So this day coming in, for example, now we're not hiding this conversation even from our teenagers. It's open now. It's clear that things are changing. Some time back on TV, you couldn't discuss World Condom Day. You know that? So tell us about now surface fun, and of course now demystifying the taboos, and also now embracing the fact that we have to talk about condoms on national TV.
Actually, from the perspective that we are now having from young people, from what we see, even on social media, from what we see the memes that come along with different seasons that we have in each and every year. Like when we have Christmas, there are memes that come along with Christmas. We have now Valentine, and guys are talking about how they'll be going out on dates and you know, having fun on those. I even saw a meme the other day. Like they've replaced the 10th with something, 14th with another emoji, 15th with another emoji. So you see, we still want to maintain the fun in our young in these guys, that is the adolescent and young people who are actually on the social media, and we want at least to, you know, to simplify it and show them that it's okay to have fun, but safer. You know, because on the other end, we don't want them to come again once kusema, you know, you should have told us.
Absolutely, very true.
You should have told us, because you are in a position to. That's why you're even taking advantage of social media, because social media, actually people go there to entertain themselves, and that's fun as well. So we are taking advantage of social media as well to at least get to that young person, and at least get sensitized on how they can actually protect themselves.
Let's talk about safety and standards. The government will actually distribute millions of condoms out here through, of course, GOK. You can actually, you know, you go to the loo and you get what I mean, huh?
Sure.
And also, there's also, now let's talk about standards. Our supermarkets, they sell this quality condoms, scented condoms. There's also some time back a distribution of fake condoms was on the rise. Now, as a consumer, you want to know which one is which. What has been done so far just to ensure uniformity in all these things? Yes, it's standard qualities. There's so much happening just in the distribution of condoms from the government itself. You can tell us more about that.
First of all, it's important to note that condoms, I'll use an example of milk, for instance. We have different products, different, you know, companies that produce milk. If you go to the supermarket and buy milk, and you can as well go to the vendors and get milk there, the quality is different and the pricing is also different. Okay. So what matters? What matters is the product that will make with it milk. Yes. Yes. If you're going to buy milk that is expensive and you do not know how to prepare tea, you're likely to have you know, terrible outcome of that tea. Yes. If you're going to buy cheap milk from the vendors out there and you know how to prepare tea, somebody is going to enjoy the tea. So back to condoms. Condoms are all made from same material called latex. So if you can choose to use government condoms, which are free, you can also choose to buy a condom at 150, a condom at 200 shillings, a condom at 300, and you do not know how to use that condom. At the end, probably is going to burst. Probably is going to slide away during intercourse. If you do not know how to use it, bottom line, a condom is not effective. But if you know how to use it, it is effective. It doesn't matter the price, it doesn't matter the quality of the condom. Bottom line, do you know how to use the condom or not? So if you do not know how to use it, it's likely not to protect you. If you know how to use it, you're going to be prevented from infections. The issue of counterfeit products, this issue was there sometime last year, and the government came in and curbed that issue, because most of the condoms, if you look at the statistics, most of the condoms that are used are government procured condoms, which are free of charge. Many people will not be able to have courage to buy condoms. That is why we'll have dispensers in the toilets, and you do not have dispensers in the toilets to buy condoms. They are free condoms. The only condoms that people can access easily are government condoms, which are even in health facilities. But you see, condoms that people buy, you will have young people go to supermarkets, go to shops, and probably you want to buy a condom, and somebody you meet there is your neighbor, your immediate neighbor, or or somebody you schooled with, and who's
actually at the desk.
Exactly. So you are going to buy a condom, and you reach there and you change your mind. You are likely to buy something else, or you know, you do not have that confidence to buy condoms. That is why government condoms are available in all health facilities, in tertiary institutions. They are in the toilets, somewhere people can easily access. Yes.
Now, Len, there's the issue of the youth. Of course, unfortunately, the numbers keep on rising as far as HIV and AIDS infections are concerned. It's bad out here. And you, from the LVCT, actually, you understand the numbers very well from where you're seated. And do you think now such a day has been made to maybe just try and, of course, the biggest thing is to reduce, have fun in a safer way. But now, the youth especially, you know, Switch TV, I always insist to appeal to the youth, 18-year-olds to 35-year-olds. Now, do you think now this situation surrounding condoms, mwingine anasema siwezi kula sweet na karatasi, you see those things actually happening now in this country, some sort of, I kind of say, myopism and some stupidity also coming with it. What do you think about now trying to educate the youth to embrace condoms?
It will actually start with the little thing that we do, you know, the little thing that we try and do. You know, some people will take it for granted. We'll take that a small portion, or rather that small act that we'll do out there to try and sensitize for granted. But to another youth, it'll have a big, or rather a greater impact. And this is what we are doing. We are not giving up on these young people. We'll still continue sensitizing them through social media, where we know they can access the information without any hindrance. You know, they can access, most of the young people at the moment actually have smartphones. Most of the young people can afford to go to a cyber cafe and access their platforms, like log in onto their Facebook, log on to their Twitter accounts, and follow the conversations, the chats, you know. And this is what we are doing. We are coming up with, we've actually come up with a team of young people called the Youth Advisory Council, YAC, Youth Advisory Council, in different parts of this country, actually, different counties that are. And we are using these young people to come up with information and the way young people would like it packaged. you know, because you cannot, you as a, let me give an example of an older person. They cannot package an information for me to consume out of how they perceive it.
Sure.
I'll have to consume what do you call it, the information the way a young person would perceive it, because I'm a young person. So we'll use the young people to actually come up with the strategy, you know, and the interventions that another young person would be able to consume it. And that's why we are using young people on these platforms, and these are the activations that we usually have, events. Like for today, we'll be having lots of events in KU. We'll be having lots of events. Mombasa will be having an event, and as well as some different parts in Nairobi. Yeah? Okay. And we are using these young people to come to go and actually interact with these other young people out there, sensitize them on importance of correct and consistency use of condoms, because without that, actually, the rate of infection, trust me, it will never go down. On the other hand, we've seen actually guys talking on social media, explaining how pharmacies near campuses actually run out of stock of P2 and like condoms.
Absolutely. It boils down to the fear of pregnancy then, STIs,
exactly.
Than HIV
and you can tell us more about that.
I wanted to also build on what he's mentioning about access to condoms and even the packaging. We did an informal survey at LVCT with young people to just ask them, what exactly would you want how do you want a condom to look like for it to appeal to you? Exactly. How do you want it to make it, you know, fun for you to use? Okay. So we asked them, and it is interesting. Sometimes back we were in a conference in South Africa, and government condoms in South Africa are fancy, for lack of a better word, are fancy. They are
how fancy are they? Give us just a detailed fanciness. How fancy?
If you look at the outside packaging itself, it is we have, first of all, we have glow in the dark condoms. We have different colors. Look at your background. We have purple, orange, and those are government procured condoms, and they're packaged in a clear packaging. If you look at it, it appeals to you, and it has very fancy writings on top. And Kenyan condoms, government condoms, they are red in color, number one. Number two, they have government logo. They have government, and you know, government logos are found in probably national flag.
Yeah, true.
And a condom.
Yeah, we have the coat of arms actually on condoms. Yeah, coat of arms. Yeah.
Really. So these are some
like
of the
a relief food,
yeah, exactly. And it's written actually not for sale.
Yeah, not for sale. Government of Kenya.
It's okay to have these condoms, but it's okay also to just package them in a young people friendly, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that is something that young people shared with us. They told us, if at all the packaging can change, if at all the distribution even mechanism can change, you look at even the cartons that are packaged in, it's clearly written not for sale.
Yeah, sure condoms.
Sure condoms and all that. It's okay. The condoms are okay. The condoms are good. But young people told us if at all they can change the packaging, that will really appeal to them. Compare government condoms and
for a challenge. I understand as much as the young minds want fancy things, just to challenge you from where I'm seated. I believe the core reason why there's a condom. Once you educate them the core reason, you see this fanciness. You know, you're not eating it.
Yes.
You're using it.
Yes.
You see, it's not about taste, about the looks. You're using it for core business. There's a reason why you're using it. Maybe just to challenge you, learn. Do we need to demystify all this notion about just the looks and everything? A condom is a condom. Take a condom and use it the proper way. Whatever the color, whatever the smell, whatever the glowing, what do you think about that? Because for me, I believe it's core.
Well, I'll tend to differ with you a bit, Afo.
Sure.
Because, you see, young people are rebellious to different stuff. It starts actually from way back in high school to campus. You're being told to do these. So that, for example, when you talk about high school, you're told to study and stop playing, and you'll go to campus. Same to campus, you're told like watch your levy and the rest, and you'll get an honors, or you get a good firm at a better position when you graduate. Yeah, but you'll tend to find this young person want something that will work for them.
Sure.
And will actually be like favoring what they want. You see.
Yes,
so when
true.
you talk about condoms, it's not just all about this is a condom.
Yeah.
You know, you can even give. There used to be that one that was it silverish in color?
Yes.
Yeah, silverish in color. Actually, that was the worst when because you'd find actually most people would be like would even tweet and they would say me hatuwezi tuka have sex with this kind of condom. And you'll find that person had that in the pocket, yeah.
Okay.
And at the end of it, they'll have unprotected sex because they don't want to show the other person that they have the other type of condom that everybody's talking about on Twitter, or rather they're talking about on Facebook. Like they're trying to, trying to show the value is a bit. You know, people want expensive condoms. You know, those
so class also
comes in. You know, and you see when you compare, it's free and. The government one is free, but the one that's fancy, it's a bit expensive. So you tend to find that this young person, they might not afford, but at the end of the day, they still want to have sex. So you won't actually beat them.
Interesting. Now, there's a statistic here from, of course, my producer, Faith McKenna, says over 5 million condoms are used per year all over the world. And even then, there are over 19.7 million cases of sexually transmitted infections being reported every year globally. I'll repeat. 5 million condoms are used per year all over the world. And the infections, actually 19.7 million infections. Now, of course, 5 million, 19 million, of course, we can't really mathematically know what that means. It's kind of absurd because the numbers are big. And but it's clear there's some sort of complacency when you settle down with someone. Of course, you use the condom for the first 3 months, 4 months, and then now the trust comes in, physical trust, familiarity trust. It comes in and then you go without a condom.
First of all, I would like to say young people are appealed by what they see. As Lomlen is saying, first of all is as we mentioned, the packaging, what they see, and then you asked the question about pregnancy versus infections. They would want to they would rather get an STI or HIV than pregnancy. Why? Because if you are pregnant, I'll see you are pregnant.
Yes, it's physical.
Yes, if you have an STI, unless we go to hospital together, you will not tell. So they will prefer the route of, you cannot know what I have.
Yeah, that's true.
But on the flip, looking at the global statistics, we can actually narrow down to our situation here in Kenya. We have not had, probably in the past 5 years, complaints or people talking about lack of condoms or inadequate supply of condoms in whatever part of this country.
All right, just hold it there. We're taking a short break now. When you come back, they're still here. We want to talk about all those things just regarding condoms, the confidence when you go to the shop, buying all these things, and of course just how youths are now embracing the fact that we don't need the GOK, not for sale condoms. We need some fancy condoms. That discussion is still going on right here on Morning Live. So don't go too far. All right, welcome back to Morning Live. And yes, we're discussing about the World Condom Day here in studio. And the conversation is getting interesting because now the quest for flavors, and of course from research, youth prefer flavored, glow-in-the-dark condoms and everything just regarding the fanciness about it. They're not so much pro-government GOK condoms, rubber-stamped, made in China, red in color, the cover, sure. You're assured of so many things. So coming back to a conversation, the statistics, as I was saying, it's kind of mind-boggling because there's no way around 5 million can be distributed. And also we have the issue of 19.7 million cases of STIs. What can you say about that?
I would like to say probably one of the things that makes people not to use condoms is the confidence to access the condoms. We mentioned here that you can actually go to a facility and get condoms for free. You can go to a shop or a supermarket and buy a condom. But we have a scenario where people will fear going to buy condoms because you do not know who you will find selling the condom how you're going to even ask the condoms. And there are situations where people get condoms from the facility for free, and they sell them on the streets of Nairobi and other streets at night. You're actually buying condoms provided by the government for free. Somebody is going to take them for free and, you know, sell them at, you know, hotspots, areas where people are highly consumers of the product. But here in Kenya, we've not had a situation where people do not have access to condoms in the recent past. At least we had that issue some times back. But in the recent past, we've had access to condoms everywhere of part of this country. In fact, there are areas in this country where people use condoms to, we have areas like Mombasa and Kisumu where we have fishermongers. People go to the lake, they actually use the condom to put it on the phone, and they get into the lake so that the problem,
you know, it's not water resistant.
Exactly. So they're using condoms for other prevention purposes other than
preventing water
water from. And we have actually had situations. We've had stories of people who are cheating on their partners, going to the toilet, or rather going to the bathroom with their phones. When you are doing your shower thing, a condom is already preventing your phone. So people are using condoms for different uses. And this is really, really, really absurd. So we need to have more information trickled down to people, especially young people. Why do we need condoms? We need condoms to prevent HIV. We need condoms. In fact, condom is the only preventive mechanism that you will not get pregnant, you will not get STIs, you will not get HIV at a go. But if you use other contraceptives, you are likely only to prevent pregnancy, for instance.
Now, before we talk about PrEPs, you know what is happening with the PrEP and, of course, yes, pre-exposure, something like that, yeah.
PrEP and PP.
And PP. Now, let's talk about how can you differentiate between a fake condom and an original condom. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, of course. When you buy a condom, there are things that you ought to look for in the package before you even start using. Because we you know, for a condom to come into the market, it has gone through the
quality checks,
the quality check, and but you have to check out the expiry date, because we also have expired condoms out there. Like we had such a case last year. I can't recall the brand, but we had such a case, and actually guys were making fun on the social media saying Happy Father's Day to people, you know, like yeah, but now those are some of the things that you ought to look at. You have to check if the condom is tampered with, you know, if it has, you know, the packaging has to tell you if the condom is tampered with or not.
Even some brands which are banned by the government, remember?
Last year.
There's some brands that were banned by the government, but as at now, we do not have those brands in the market.
So tell us more about the pre-exposure, PEP and PrEP. Is it now getting rid of condoms? Because now, is it giving people the confidence of it's not a must like use a condom. There's a tablet here, or a capsule you can just take after indulging in your activity.
Actually, I'll just slightly touch on some misconceptions that people have. You say there's a pre-exposure prophylaxis is good. But it works. It works, yes. But it works when taken, and when taken under doctor's prescription. But this is how it works. It only prevents HIV, not pregnancy, and not the other STIs. But for it to be convenient, you know, for it to work quite okay, you have to use it with a condom. Because, you know, PrEP is actually for someone who is at a substantial risk of acquiring HIV. So this can be someone who engages in sex continuously, you know. Leo bado ako na mtu kesho kutwa, you know, every day maybe
mwingine
different sexual partners, or it may not even be different sexual partners, it can also be a partner who is HIV positive. So this person, we actually encourage them to also use condom as part of the mechanism in preventing acquiring HIV.
The whole concept about pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, is combined prevention, as he's mentioning. Combined prevention, you cannot be preventing yourself from HIV, yet you're exposing yourself to STIs.
It's true.
And these STIs are factors that they will actually lead you to getting HIV.
HIV,
so you cannot be preventing yourself from getting HIV, and yet you're exposing yourself to gonorrhea and other STIs. You are exposing yourself to other, probably pregnancy. So PrEP is specifically to prevent HIV. And then PEP, because PrEP is before you expose yourself, and then PEP now is after you have exposed yourself. It pretty much works like EPs, emergency contraceptives for pregnancy. The same time, before 72 hours after exposure, if you are sure the person you are engaging sex with is HIV positive, probably they told you they're HIV positive after you have already engaged in intercourse, it's good to go for PEP.
I had to whistle over there. Understand? Yeah,
it's good to go for PEP to just reduce the possibility of you getting infected. There are situations where probably you've had intercourse with somebody, you have no idea who that person is. We have had stories of young people going to clubs, house parties, you engage with somebody you never
even seen.
You've never even, you don't even know their name. Actually, in the morning is when you're asking each other, by the unaitwa, and you've already had unprotected sex. So such scenarios, you need to go for PEP. Yeah, you need to go for PEP. If at all you've also had intercourse with somebody, and then probably the condom, you had a condom burst in between, and you do not know the HIV status, you are encouraged to go for PEP. It is free in government facilities. Go explain yourself, and then you'll be given.
When we talk about condoms, we can't leave our sisters, the female condoms. Yeah. Of course, I'm aware we have the female condoms and we also have the oral sex condoms.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, tell us more about that now.
No, we have also the female condom, which works actually like the male condom. No? Only that now the female has to wear it. But now,
of course, even men wear it.
Wait, no, they don't. They wear the men condom. For men, we are the men condom. For the female condom, it's totally different from the male one.
But they wear it?
Insert.
We would have come with it, actually. They insert it in the vagina. And
yes.
Okay, graphics. But you see, whenever one has one condom on, like if it's a man who has a condom, the lady should not have the condom. So you can only use one condom at a time. And only one condom once. You cannot use one condom and repeat.
And why are they not common, the female condoms? They're not so common, not advertised. What's happening here?
They're actually common. They're actually common.
Like when you're seated, you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because they are not given as much prominence as male condoms. But they're available. If you go to facilities like our facilities, LVCT health facilities, you will find female condoms in dispensers. We actually have male dispensers and female condom dispensers. And the reason as to why they're also not
used? Are they being like is that traffic?
Exactly, they are used. But the reason also as to why they're not being utilized is because of the information. People do not know even how to use them in the first place. And then number two, the material used to make female condoms is quite expensive than the male condoms. So they are not readily available. You will find them free of charge in selected facilities, not everywhere, because the materials are quite expensive. Male condoms are very delicate. You cannot put them somewhere they're exposed to sun, exposed to heat, but female condoms can actually withstand heat. They can withstand harsh conditions. They can stay for a longer period than male condoms. But that is why they're not easily available, the female condoms. But also in selected facilities, as I mentioned at LVCT Health, we have female condoms in plenty. We actually distribute them for free. Also female condoms are quite expensive as compared to male condoms. If you actually, if you go buy a female condom, one piece, it will be between 300 and probably 500, one piece. And a male condom, they are as cheap as 10 shillings, 20 shillings, 50 shillings. So there's that variance. But we also encourage people who are continuously exposed to, multiple sexual partners, such as female sex workers, we encourage them to use female condoms, because female condoms, they make you take the responsibility as a female to put on a condom, even if the client or somebody they're having sex with is not ready to use a condom. They have already put on their condoms. Yes.
Okay. Now, there's a viewer who's asking, can you get infection when you use a condom? Of course, it's a generic kind of a shallow question. Let me say that. Sorry to say that, but to see, I know what he or she meant. All the meaning is, can they get an infection when they use a condom? Sometimes we've talked about backfiring. Sometimes it can slide away. Yeah, maybe you can answer our viewer about that.
Yeah, yeah, you can. That's why we emphasize on correct and consistent use of condom. Correct is the key word. You know, you can, you know, it's the PPR. We say PPR.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, there's some people who just
You
know, but they pinch, place and roll.
You don't follow the process.
Yeah, you have to follow the process.
You know,
so in case you just valia kimandazi, definitely trust me.
Can't you see adrenaline hurry?
You have to prepare for sex actually. Yeah, so
there are two keywords. Correct and consistent.
Correct.
Because the correct is, have you put on the condom using PPR? And then consistent, have you continuously used a condom with people you do not know the HIV status? Because if at all you are having intercourse with somebody you do not know the HIV status today, you've used a condom today, after a week, after a month, you realize, I've actually had sex with this person for a month with a condom, and I don't see any change, so we actually used to each other. So
there's a guy here online called Chizimtani. I think I won't really read what he's written, but it's unfortunate what he's written. But Chizimtani, wherever you are, just desist from this, because now he's a believer of condoms in leisure fashion, and nowadays it's just kind of, you know what I mean. So for the sake of Cheesy and other people who believe like Cheesy, he's a pro-raw person. He's a pro-raw person. And for the sake of his overall health, maybe, what can you tell Cheesy? Because now he's our viewer and we love him. Yes, what can you tell him?
Cheesy, it's okay to go raw, and the only thing that you need to do is you and the person you are going raw with go for HIV test, know each other's HIV status, and go raw.
Okay, interesting. We talked about now oral condoms. Now, how does this even happen? Like, you have to,
Yeah, we have the latex barrier, you know, technology and time factor has changed everything. And at the moment you have different type of sex. We have the oral sex as well. And for this, we also have the infection of the mouth when we talk about the STI. The STI is not only in the genital parts nowadays. It can also be in around your mouth, So we have the dental dams.
That's the HPV one.
Yeah, we have the HPV as well. We have hepatitis that.
And hepatitis B, that is.
Hepatitis B. Sorry, I forgot to mention. So we have the dental dams, which actually are in the market at the moment. We have several in our facility. Dental dams, where someone will use the dental dam on a female. We have also flavored condoms, which will be used by men, like female to men or men to, you know, it depends with your sexuality. All
right. Now, final sentiments, because now this is a very, very broad topic we've talked about. Let's measure our conversation with our health. Maybe let's start from there.
First of all, people need to understand that condoms are meant for one purpose: prevention. And prevention, you are preventing HIV, you are preventing pregnancy, you are preventing STIs. So any other use of condom apart from that is not appropriate. We've seen scenarios where people in town, you will find people gathered around somebody who is talking about if you put condom and you add whatever flavors, salt, it will burst.
We have such people.
So we have people who are misinformed. You see, each and everything has its use. And if you go buy salt, you are supposed to put them in. You are preparing some food. If you buy a condom, you are supposed to use it during sex. So there is no way that you will find people gathered around town and other places explaining to people how condoms are bad, how condoms can give you whatever infections. In fact, condoms do not have any chemicals you know, appeared placed on them. Condoms have what we call water-based lubrication. Water-based lubrication have zero effect and zero chemicals. We do not have people who get irritation, who get you know, side effects after using a condom, because it's purely water-based lubrication. Water-based, it has zero chemicals. Yes. So condoms are supposed to used for prevention and prevention and prevention. If at all people want to talk to a counselor, because we have a telecounseling line, people can call 1190, talk to a counselor free of charge. 1190. Talk to a counselor, ask questions regarding sexual reproductive health, including condoms. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Now, just let's talk about now, as we finalize this conversation, about the flavors, the glow, and the preferences as far as the youths are concerned, because that's what they need. They don't need the sure ones, the GOK stamped with everything over there. They're kind of in a classy situation where they want to, of course, indulge into sex. What can you say? What's your opinion on this? Yes, they are kind of rebellious, but still, what's your sober opinion on this?
Well, as a young person as well, because I'm a young person.
Sure, yeah, you are young. You can see. You're young. Yeah.
I would say that would work for them to start with. I've seen in the internet, we have even the cannabis flavor, leave alone the vanilla flavor, strawberry flavor, you know.
Cannabis.
Yeah, cannabis flavor.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in the internet actually.
What is happening? What is happening?
I think it's what young people want, and you know, when demands come,
want
you know,
cannabis.
yeah, actually you'll have to create a supply, you know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
it's
a chain.
Yeah, it's actually a law. Yeah, and we know that if that's what will work for them, and we give them, let's give it a try, and you know, we as I said earlier, we will not give up on them. We'll actually be there for them and actually provide it for them. And the government, I believe the government will have our backs and support us on these.
Okay. So are you in on the same page with him? Because now, yes,
probably what the key stakeholders need to do is probably to converge a workshop or a conference for young people and ask them exactly what do you want. And after, you know, they have listened to them and they have gathered their opinion, they need to act on whatever young people are proposing, because we are moving towards where we need to involve young people in programming, we need to involve young people in policy making, so that the policy that we are making and whatever laws we are making, they are responsive to them, because ultimately they are the consumers. Whatever has happened in the past is when people sit in a boardroom, decide on behalf of young people, make laws on behalf of young people, and then boom, you are brought up about a policy that you have never been part of. So we need to have a situation where you know, key stakeholders involve young people.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. And of